What's up, guys? Jason up the New 80s Revolution, back here tonight for what I am going to consider Season 1, Episode 1 of the future of the New 80s Revolution. We have done some wrestling figure reviews since the change of life, since the format change that happened here on the channel. But tonight is going to be what I'm going to consider the first episode of the new 80s Revolution. That's right, we're going to give that Howard Finkel emphasis on new 80s Revolution going forward, starting right now. Season 1, Episode 1. What are we talking about tonight? Well, if you haven't already noticed, I like to talk about stuff from the 80s. And this is going to be one of the more anticipated episodes to me. And this was an episode that I had planned way back when we had other people hanging out on this channel. But just because it's a party of one and a party of all of you guys doesn't mean that we can't go forward with the idea that I had in mind. So tonight, again, much anticipated. I'm very excited about this. Tonight, we're talking about food of the 1980s. That's right. Foods that were special to us as kids. Foods that we may have experienced for the first time as kids. And these are all foods that are available today, of course. But they meant something to us back then. We were introduced to them back then. And I'm going to be talking about some foods that were very special to me as a kid. So we're going to be talking about those memories. We're going to be showing off some commercials. We're also going to be eating tonight. I got a big box of stuff down there that I'm going to put in my belly tonight and wash it down with a tall or partially drinking or all the way drinking beer tonight on the New 80s Revolution. Some other channels on the YouTube ask you guys for money. But here on the New 80s Revolution, I go out and I spend the money to bring a big box of 80s goodies, 80s treats, 80s fare, 80s food. And we're all going to eat it together tonight, talk about our memories, and go back in time a little bit while we talk about food of the 1980s tonight on the new 80s Revolution. All right, guys, food of the 1980s tonight. Now, you might be thinking, how can we dedicate an entire episode to food? I mean, does food really deserve its own special episode? I mean, we still eat food today. There haven't been any groundbreaking advancements in food since the 1980s. So why would we focus exclusively on what we ate as kids? Well, back before this YouTube channel even started, maybe 6 months before I started this channel, I had an idea about a book that I wanted to write. And the title of the book was going to be something along the lines of Whatever Happened to Friday Night Pizza Night, or Friday Night Pizza, or whatever. And the reason behind that was I remembered how ordering pizza as a kid was an event. It was a special thing. And it usually happened on Friday nights. Not every Friday night, of course. That would have killed the thrill of it. But it would happen monthly, bi-monthly, sometimes even longer. But it would always be on a Friday night. And it made it a really special feeling in the household. You'd come home from school, you'd be told that we were getting pizza tonight, and the kids would go nuts, and everybody was excited. And, the pizza would be delivered with a couple of 2 liters of soda, and we'd sit down, never with plates, I remember. We would never have plates on pizza night. We'd have napkins or strips of paper towel. That was our plate for Friday pizza night. And I just got to thinking about how, that exclusive Friday night tradition certainly has passed us. And I think it was because it was maybe it was a Monday or Tuesday night here in my house, and I said, hey, let's just order a pizza. And my kids didn't seem too excited about it. They couldn't care less. And, the thrill, the joy of ordering a pizza was gone. So I started thinking about writing a book and coming up with examples of things that existed back then and don't today, or things that had a little bit more meaning back then than they do today. And so whatever happened to Friday pizza night was going to be something that I started working on. Unfortunately, it's already been done. In fact, it's been done with a title pretty close to what I was going to use. In fact, the book that I got for Christmas that year was Whatever Happened to Pudding Pops. And obviously the guy stole my idea right out from underneath me several years earlier and made a book. So away went that dream, and then the YouTube thing got going. So I thought, well, let me bring what I was thinking about to an episode. Let's talk about our experiences with food in the 1980s. Obviously, I mentioned Friday pizza night and in how special that was. I also wanted to talk about the going out to dinner event. Again, that is something today that's taken for granted, and it's something today that happens much more frequently than it did when I was a kid. Going out to dinner was a huge event in a kid's life back in the 1980s. I think, again, today it's something that is relied on much more heavily than it was in my generation. It was a very special thing. We were very excited. We were in a new place. We were in a new environment. The food was being brought to us. It was great. It was an exciting, exciting time, especially if you had siblings, because, we'd run around the house and we'd be excited, and we'd be out later than we usually were, and we'd come home and it was dark out, and that was always a weird thing to happen as a kid. So I figured tonight we would not only talk about some of the foods that meant something to us back then, but we'd eat them too. So I went out and I bought a whole bunch of crap. Crap that was wonderful back then, and crap that's, for the most part, crap today. I figured we'd enjoy some fast food. We'd enjoy some snacks. We'd enjoy some go-to lunch treats of my childhood. Of course, you got to wash it down with something, and I wasn't drinking Two Roads 0 to 60 sour pale ale back when I was 8. So we got to have the beverage of choice back in the 1980s, for me anyways. So I hope you guys are hungry. I hope you've saved your appetite, because in a few minutes we're going to dive into some of these delicacies that I've purchased. Now, what I'm doing for you is exceptional, because I've tried to cut out a lot of this stuff over the past few months or so. The waist size on my pants has been going up more than I hoped it would. So I started cutting back on on some of the food, but tonight I really brought it back hardcore. So get ready for that. Enjoy a couple of these commercials. Come right back, and we're going to dig into some foods of the 80s tonight, right here. See you soon.
To all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame special sauce, beef cheese. It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's.
A photo booth! I think I'll try it. What a great shot of me! And the McDonald's Happy Meal, guys? Surprise! Hamburger, fries, and soft drink. All regular size. You got the picture.
E.T. phone home.
You can collect 4 E.T. posters, a different one each week, when you buy a McDonald's Happy Meal featuring E.T. the extraterrestrial on each box.
Neat.
McDonald's Happy Meal boxes featuring E.T.
All right, guys, we are back. Hope you enjoyed some of those classic food-themed 80s commercials. And I didn't choose those just randomly, guys. The commercials featured tonight should give you a little bit of a clue about the fine dining we are all going to indulge in tonight. Hope you guys got your little meal ready, because I don't like to eat alone. But let's take a look at what we're going to be enjoying tonight. Aside from our sour pale ale, which I've really been getting into lately, I'm not a huge pale ale fan, but I do enjoy a sour, tart pale ale. It's almost, when it says sour, they mean it. We're talking about a sour, very tart, very puckery beer. An acquired taste definitely for some, but I happen to enjoy them. They go down pretty smooth. So, I've kind of broken things down a little bit here. We got our snacks, which we'll save for a minute. But I'd like to just dive right into the entrees first, and again, talk a little bit about why I chose them and why they're important to me, and see if they, hold up or taste the same as they used to back when I was a kid. Now, I've already talked about Friday pizza night. I remember Pizza Hut was the go-to pizza place for us, for my family as a kid. I have no idea why. I don't know why my parents chose it. We did dabble with some, homegrown mom and pop pizza place type chains. But when we wanted to go back to Old Faithful, we would hit up Pizza Hut. Unfortunately, the Pizza Hut in town where I grew up as a kid didn't deliver. So you didn't get that doorbell ringing experience that pizza delivery, seemed to bring the household. So we'd have to run out and get it. And of course, it would always be my dad going out, getting in the car, going and picking up the pizza. And we'd be running around the house waiting for it to come home. And of course, it would come home always with a couple of 2 liters of soda under each arm. Also, Pizza Hut was the only local pizzeria or pizza chain that offered dine-in, comfortable dine-in, restaurant-style dine-in. Of course, other pizza places, had a few tables set up. But I remember Pizza Hut was actually set up, and still is today, was set up like a restaurant. And you could go in and you could sit at a booth. And what's great about Pizza Hut today is that they have not really changed the interior decor of an 80s style Pizza Hut. You still got those awesome red glasses that were filled with Coca-Cola or Pepsi. You still got the red booths. You still got those great chandelier lights or lamps hanging above your booth. And the waitress or server would come out still with a steaming hot tray of delicious Pizza Hut pizza. Now, I know there's tons of people out there who will go to war over their pizza. New York pizza, Chicago pizza, thin crust, thick crust, Sicilian. I don't really care about any of that stuff because at the end of the day, if I want that familiar, old school, home style pizza taste, I'm going with Pizza Hut. So tonight, we're going to be enjoying the very tiny Pizza Hut personal pan pizza. For some reason in my household, pepperoni and green pepper was always the go-to pizza. And we just never questioned it, I guess, because what 8-year-old is going to scarf down green peppers on his pizza? But it was good for us back then. And so when I want to go old school, I get a Pizza Hut pizza, buttery crust. It still has that authentic taste. You still bite into this and you know it's Pizza Hut. Pepperoni and green peppers. Let's see if it holds up. You know Pizza Hut crust. Pizza Hut crust or dough is different from any other pizza out there. I think they use a ton of butter in their crust because that's just the same old buttery pizza taste, pizza crust that I remember as a kid. And you know what? The green peppers on pizza, I still get it as an adult because it's awesome. One more bite. Yeah. Again, like I said, people will battle about pizza. Some people think that chain pizzerias like Domino's and Pontillo's, Pizza Hut, don't compare. Not real pizza. Works for me. I love it. Pizza Hut, that was always a part of Friday night pizza. For whatever reason, convenience, I don't know. My parents, maybe they just liked it, I guess. My parents would always go to Pizza Hut Friday night, probably bi-monthly, I'd say. We'd all sit around the dining room table. We'd have our sheets of paper towel in front of us. You'd get your cheesy pepperoni green pepper pizza. You'd have your plastic cup full of Coke. And you'd have the night of your life. It was wonderful. Friday night pizza night. Whatever happened to Friday night pizza night? Doesn't exist. You know why? Because we got Monday night pizza night. We got Tuesday night pizza night. We got pizza for lunch. We got pizza. It's lost its special touch, guys. But in my house, I'm going to try to start bringing back Friday night pizza night. Get those kids excited again about pizza. We'll finish that later. Lunches as a kid. Let me hold it for you. What kid on the planet doesn't enjoy Spaghettios? They were like 49 cents a can back then. They were convenient. You didn't even really need to cook them. Here's a little secret. I eat my Spaghettios directly out of the aluminum can because it just adds that throwback 80s aluminum flavor to every bite. I also don't warm them up, obviously. I don't know. I just always preferred to have my Spaghettios right out of a can, not heated up, room temperature or store shelf temperature or whatever you want to call it. Now, as a kid, I couldn't just settle for the plain Spaghettios. My Spaghettios needed some kind of protein in them. And you had your options of spaghetti with meatballs or spaghetti with Franks. I, as a kid, and still as an adult, love hot dogs. So my choice was SpaghettiOs with Franks. And the company that we're so used to producing the SpaghettiOs, Chef Boyardee. Today, I can't find Chef Boyardee SpaghettiOs with Franks. Meatballs are everywhere. Franks, I can't find. Franco-American, which was another leading company that produced the SpaghettiO product, I can't find any Franco-American products anymore. Are they gone? I have no idea. To my surprise, I was able to find Campbell's Spaghettios. And they used the SpaghettiO name. So I don't know if Campbell's took over Franco-American or whatever, but I was able to find Campbell's SpaghettiOs with Franks. And to be honest with you, I have not had Campbell's SpaghettiOs ever. I've always had Chef Boyardee. So out of the can, unheated, we're going to go for some SpaghettiOs with Franks. I don't even know how you can call these things Franks. Take a look at those, guys. I don't know if you can see those. Those are the tiniest little round Frank bits. So they definitely didn't cut up a full-size hot dog, I can tell you that. But let's go in and see how we're doing here. Just like I remember them. A very strange texture to the hot dog. The hot dog. The texture is much more compressed than a hot dog that we're used to. A little less tender. You got that tomato sauce, and anybody who knows how to make a tomato sauce isn't going to call this a tomato sauce. Basically, this is almost like a watered down ketchup. And of course, you've got those macaroni bits that have been soaking and softening in tomato sauce the whole life of the can. In fact, there's little difference between these Franks as there are the meatballs in taste and in texture. If I closed my eyes and didn't know what I was eating, I don't think I'd be able to tell the difference between the hot dogs and the meatballs, and that's kind of sad. But for some reason, I'm going in for my third bite. Whoa. Campbell's SpaghettiOs with Franks. And if you notice here, it says Healthy Kids Entree. Now, if I was a single parent, I would absolutely be calling this a Healthy Kids Entree. But I'm guessing that most moms of the world would not agree with that. But I'm okay, and I ate this almost every other day as a kid. And I turned out just fine, didn't I? Well, I would get into our beverage of choice in a moment, but I'm gonna age myself now from 8 years old to today, and I'm gonna talk about how important this local beer was in my family. My grandfather could probably drink about 14 of these a day. Now, was he a raging alcoholic? It's debatable. But he got to the point where this has such little alcohol content that he could put these things down and not bat an eyelash. And so I grew up with Jenny Light all around my family. Again, it's a local brewery, Genesee Brewery in Rochester, New York. Their two main staples are Jenny and Jenny Light. And you know what, guys? It's more pissy than Coors Light. Look at that. Looks like lemonade, guys. Tastes like a rice cake. And it's about $4.99 for a 6-pack. But Jenny Light was always a part of my childhood. I definitely sampled a few sips from my grandfather's beer when I was a kid. And I'll still drink it today. All right. Keeping up with the kid theme. Happy Meal. McDonald's Happy Meal. I mean, what kid on the planet did not think that this was one of the biggest treats of their lives at the time? Now, from what I recall, a Happy Meal with a plain red side with a smile on it never existed. Our Happy Meals were full of artistic cartoons, basically representing the toy of the month for that particular Happy Meal. And I guess they're doing that on a few sides here. We've got Snoopy themed Happy Meal, but I just remember these Happy Meals were a little bit more interactive. They had puzzles, they had games, they had, sometimes you could actually convert the Happy Meal into like an accessory for the toy. I remember specifically with the Bernstein Bears Happy Meal release, you could turn the Happy Meal box into a clubhouse for the Bernstein Bears. So let's take a look at what's doing here. We got your kid-size fries. Changing times, ladies and gentlemen. This is a major sign of the times. With every kid's Happy Meal, they now give you the option of apple slices or something called Go-Gurt. We didn't have no apple slices or Go-Gurt when I was a kid. You got your 4-piece chicken nugget, which I think is if I recall, was not an option when I was a kid. It was the cheeseburger or the hamburger as a kid. I think nuggets were added a little bit later. Not too much later, a little bit later. We got the thing every single kid on the planet is looking for, the Happy Meal toy. Now, I will say this. The Happy Meal toys have increased in quality and collectability, and I mean, these have gotten a heck of a lot better than they did when I was a kid. Size-wise, again, production value, these are great. And I guess the theme this month is Snoopy, so definitely happy with that. As a kid, I used to dunk my Mcnuggets in honey. One of the sauces for McNuggets at the time was honey. I don't know if that still exists. I asked my local McDonald's if they had honey, and they said they didn't. So I wasn't able to get the dipping sauce that I enjoyed most as a kid. But when it comes to taste memory, McDonald's chicken nuggets dipped in barbecue sauce is the taste that I remember the most. Now, I've eaten McNuggets aplenty as an adult, and I love these things. To me, they have not changed a bit. And I could, there won't be a surprised person in this whole world that would know that I'm going to put down 20 of these, a fry, and about 3 or 4 of these. But chicken nuggets, chicken McNuggets, barbecue sauced, taste memory from my childhood. Oh, man. Guys, nothing has changed about the McNugget. Absolutely nothing. I don't know what they do to these things. I don't know what animal they get them from. I don't know what they use for that crispy batter on the outside. But you want to talk about a familiar taste? You want to talk about going back in time and reliving childhood? If you hadn't had a McNugget lately, go out and get yourself some McNuggets, because they will bring you back. Man. Of course, we can certainly debate all night, and some do, about the greatest fast food fry. Do you like Burger King? Do you love Wendy's? You know, what about those curly fries from Arby's? To me, the best fast food fry, hands down, way in the lead, the McDonald's French fry. Yeah. Again, these have been sitting out a bit. And I gotta tell you, there's nothing worse than a cold fry in the world, or a room temperature fry. But despite being a little cooled down, to me, nothing beats the McDonald's French fry. In fact, I think back in the day, store-bought French fries started to change their look a little bit to try to fool kids or try to match the McDonald's fry. So instead of those big crinkle-cut fries that we would see in our school lunches, and of course at home, we started to get the shoestring French fry. And I'm guessing, that was developed to mimic or recreate the McDonald's French fry. You could bring the shoestring fry, at least in appearance, home with you. Now, I got 2 products from McDonald's tonight because I was always a hungry kid. And while most kids my age would be perfectly satisfied with the Happy Meal, I remember even at a very early age, 7 years old, 8 years old, growing out of the Happy Meal. And I would sit there and I would see that massive burger on the McDonald's menu, and I felt I was ready for it. So I graduated at a pretty early age from the McNuggets to the Big Mac. Is there any more classic flavor than the McDonald's Big Mac? Again, something that has not changed over the years, something they have not tweaked at all. It is the exact same flavor that it always has been. And I haven't eaten one of these in a long time. In fact, I haven't eaten beef in a while. But I'm doing this for you guys. Yeah. McDonald's Big Mac. It's the exact same as it's ever been. This one's a little dry. I don't think they loaded up on the special sauce, but it's the same as it's ever been. Same Big Mac I remember. I don't think we're going to finish that one later. Like I said, I haven't eaten beef in a long time. I don't know why. Big Mac, though. And like I said, I chose it because I morphed out of the Happy Meal at an extremely early age. Snacks. We got our entrees. We need to talk about snacks. The number one snack of choice or chip of choice for me as a kid, hands down. I mean, we're talking about choice number one is way up here. All the others, so far down the line, you can't even see them. The number one snack for me as a kid growing up were Doritos. Original flavor Doritos. Now, Cool Ranch came out in the late 80s, mid to late 80s, and swept the entire nation off its feet. But I will always be partial to the original Doritos. Now, if any of you guys shop at some, off-brand stores, and you buy those cheaper, discounted nacho corn chips, you will immediately know that they are not Doritos. So if I'm going to eat a Dorito, it's got to be a Dorito. Again, something that has not changed the original flavor at all since the first time I put this thing in my face. I could sit here, finish this whole bag. The original nacho cheese Doritos. Untoppable. Let's do one more. I asked one of you guys, give me some ideas, some write-ins. We got handicap hot fries. Wasn't a fan as a kid much, but some of you guys told me to go for these, and here we go. They're hot. They're a little kick in there. A lot of kick. All right, handicap hot fries hold up. Well, there you go, guys. I stuffed my face. We'll talk about the Pepsi in a minute. I'm going to chew, finish some of these, and we'll come right back and we'll wrap it up. But check out a few of these commercials, and I'll see you in a minute.
The Uh-Oh kids cook up some fun. Here come the Spaghettios! Uh-oh. And everybody's up for those fun-to-eat Spaghettios.
You forgot.
What tasty little O's. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh gosh, you sure know your O's.
SpaghettiOs.
Here's your chance to win a trip to New York City. It's the original New York Seltzer Getaway. Our winner will fly via Eastern Airlines. With more flights to more fun vacations, they've got your summer. Stay at the Sheraton Park Avenue. Win tickets to Cats and Howie Mandel at Radio City Music Hall. Get details wherever specially marked six-packs of original New York Seltzer are sold. Enter now for your chance to go to New York City. Now more than ever, the choice is clear. Original New York Seltzer.
Doritos, definitely the one with all-out nacho cheese crunch.
It's what all that's all about. Definitely Doritos.
Whew, there you go, guys. A couple more commercials to cleanse your palate, or cleanse mine, I guess. I prefer to cleanse mine with Grandpa's cough medicine. But hope you enjoyed that little trip back to the culinary specialties of my childhood. Of course, the 1980s. What about you guys? Foods that meant something to you back when you were a kid. I failed to mention my all-time favorite beverage. And if you haven't noticed yet, they've gone back to that throwback 80s style Pepsi can, which I just can't get enough of. In fact, for some strange reason, I've bought a 2-liter, put it down here on display, and I've bought a couple of cans and put them down here on display as well. Why did I choose to do this episode? I don't know. Like I said, everything from when we were kids has changed. I mean, how many of you parents out there are driving your kids to McDonald's and watching them scarf down Nugget after Mcnugget? Unfortunately, this food is no longer being advertised as part of a nutritional diet. In fact, things like McDonald's and Spaghettios and Big Macs and Doritos and Pizza Hut and Pepsi have been blamed for childhood obesity. I don't want to go off on a political tangent, but do we really need to blame the organizations? Maybe we should take a look at ourselves as parents, but that's for another channel. Every Sunday morning, my 5-year-old bowls on a bowling league, just like his dad. And every Sunday afternoon, we hit up McDonald's, and he enjoys a Happy Meal, some Mcnuggets, and some French fries. And you know what? He weighs about 40 pounds. And I really don't think that me taking him to McDonald's every Sunday is going to contribute to any childhood obesity. I want him to experience it. I want him to know what it's like to sit in a McDonald's, to get a Happy Meal, to get a Snoopy toy every Sunday. It's about moderation, guys. But anyway, like I said, I hope you enjoyed the blast from the past, a trip back in time. Hope you enjoyed me stuffing my face with bites and bites of various foods. Now, how much of this stuff am I going to finish tonight? I'm probably going to finish the Pizza Hut. I'm definitely going to finish the Mcnuggets, and I might hit that Spaghettios can a few more times. Guys, I want to thank you all for continuing to follow me since the format change, the recent format change. Not only have I not lost subscribers, I've gained about 17 since we went back to Party of One. And I could not be more thrilled with that. We're at 884 subscribers right now, which is absolutely amazing. I have told you all along that my goal is to hit 1,000. So do whatever you can to get the New 80s Revolution to 1,000 subscribers. Because that's when I finally get welcomed back into the YouTube partner family. And I can go back to making 3 cents per video. Is it about the money? Never has been. It's about being allowed as a small channel to become part of that YouTube partner family. That it's no longer reserved for PewDiePie or for Logan Paul. That the small channels can get in on the action as well. So please do what it takes. Have your family members sign up. Get me to 1,000 subscribers. And when you do, when this channel reaches 1,000 subscribers, we are going to have a giveaway that is going to blow your minds. So get us to 1,000. Coming up on the channel, we're going to be doing... We're definitely not going to be calling this thing a network. But there's going to be plenty of sub-shows underneath the New 80s Revolution umbrella. I know not everybody is a big fan of wrestling. but I am, and a lot of you guys are. So we're going to be doing a special show once a week or once every couple of weeks dedicated exclusively to wrestling. And that might be reviewing some of the footage that I have. That might be talking about figures. We'll definitely be doing that ECW figure review underneath that wrestling umbrella. But I'm also going to be doing, the New 80s Revolution style show like we did tonight on food. And like we did in the past when I had a partner. We're going to take a topic, we're going to pick a topic, and we're going to focus the entire show on it. Now, I might go back and repeat some of the topics that we've already done, because if you watch some of those episodes, they're kind of dominated by somebody, not me. So I'd like to have the entire time to talk about my interests and my top fives or my memories about those particular topics. So we might go back and talk about 80s cartoons. We might do 80s TV shows. We might do 80s music. We might do toys all over again with just me. And we're certainly not going to be sitting here for 2 hours. So that's coming. So that'll be one category of show. The wrestling will be another category of show. And then we're probably just going to do things like pickups as well. So, people have been asking for, hey, have you gotten any more pickups? Have you gotten any Blu-rays? Have you gotten any new toys? We'll definitely dedicate smaller, shorter episodes to the pickups that I've received over the past few months. I also want to do what I'm going to call a spotlight show, where I focus on one particular toy line and do a little bit of a feature on it, a little bit of an extended, maybe 20, 25 minute talk about that particular toy line. And it's going to be stuff that I already own. I can't talk about stuff that I don't own because I'd like to show you. So the first toy spotlight episode is going to be on Kenner's Real Ghostbusters line. And that's going to probably be the next thing you see from me. And I'll take, like I said, 20, 25 minutes to highlight the figures, show you some of the detail, certainly show you what I have accumulated and what I have left to accumulate to complete the line, and maybe talk a little history about the toy line as well. So that sounds about like 4 maybe sub-shows or subcategories of show. So for the wrestling fans, more stuff is coming. For the non-wrestling fans, don't go anywhere. There's going to be plenty more content for you guys to enjoy as well. That's about it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again for getting me to 884 subscribers. Let's keep that going. I have a Facebook page, The New 80s Revolution. So check me out. If you are not already following the New 80s Revolution Facebook page, definitely do so. There will be a link to that page in this description. Also, Instagram. Again, The New 80s Revolution at Instagram, where a couple times a week I put up some neat little photos of toys or, whatever. Right now it's kind of a WrestleMania themed pictures that I'm putting up. But the Instagram page has definitely generated some fans and followers from outside of the YouTube world, and I certainly want to bring them to the YouTube world. So check out the Instagram again. It's The New 80s Revolution at Instagram, and there'll be another link for that as well. No TeePublic stuff right now. Certainly no Patreon. You're never going to hear that word mentioned here on this channel. Again, I want to thank you guys. Thank you very much. The next show that I do, I'm going to do a little bit more of a highlight of followers and fans. I've got some stuff coming in the mail from some of you guys that's always blows my mind and always leaves me extremely humbled. But I've got some neat things to show you coming up. So continue following. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Again, that's how we defeat this empire known as YouTube and win one for the smaller channels. I love every single one of you. New live show coming next Sunday. Tomorrow night is WrestleMania. I'm not big enough to go up against Vince McMahon yet. Next year I might be, but this year we're going to postpone it 1 week So we're going to do next Sunday. We're going to have a live show coming up right here tonight, April 14th at about 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to do another live show. We had a blast last time. You know the live shows. Anything goes, uncensored. We drink a pile of these, and we have a whole bunch of fun. I will see you soon, guys. Kenner's Real Ghostbusters Spotlight coming up next episode. Be here for the live show. Thank you all very much. I will see you again soon.